Welcome to the show, Adibah, to our brand that matters for this week episode. So, for audience that don't know you that well, do you mind to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Datuk, for inviting me for brand that matters. The reason kenapa I accept this podcast because I love anything about the brand, because the essential behind the brand tu sangat penting untuk develop a cosmetic for example. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Miss Adibah. I'm the founder and CEO of the Raw International Sdn Bhd. So what we do is that we make a skincare. So our brand name is the Raw. So where the Raw today, we are at over 800 point of sales, including Guardian, Aeon Wellness, soon to be in Guardian Brunei and Singapore, and as well as Indonesia by end of the year.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it.
So before that, okay, kita tahulah before this you sebagai seorang pharmacist kan?
Yeah.
So guide us through your journey from a pharmacist to become the founder of Raw, and why Raw and why skincare? Maybe you share with us more.
Yeah. Okay, the Raw dilahirkan in 2019 when I was still a pharmacist. I'm a pharmacist for 7 years under Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. 2 years as a pharmacist carrier, 2 years berada di clinical pharmacy serving medical wards, and 5 years as outpatient pharmacy in 3 different facility under KKM lah. So in 2019, I felt that my value as a pharmacist macam shouldn't be limited lah in the KKM facilities kan, and I have a strong call where else I can channel my value as a pharmacist, like beyond the pharmacy counter itself.
Betul.
So dulu I ada masalah kulit jerawat. So in my teenagehood, 15 tahun, every single year I akan ada new episode of jerawat. So having a acne skin kan, dia menyebabkan I kurang keyakinan diri.
Self-esteem.
Yeah. So macam you rasa orang cakap dengan you, ada apa kat muka ni, dia tengah cakap ke tengah tengok jerawat aku ni kan. So along the years kan, bila I suffering acne, nak relatekan dengan perjalanan I the Raw ni tahun 2019, so I study cosmetic to find actually cure for my own skin pasal acne. So perjalanan I untuk mengenal ubat jerawat ataupun kosmetik jerawat ni membuatkan I lama-lama fall in love on kosmetik, menyebabkan not only fall in love sampai sehingga master, seolah-olah macam I tahulah end to end about kosmetik, I know. Then come to the point I graduated pharmacy dan I bekerja sebagai farmasi. Dia memberikan satu acuan yang sangat bagus untuk skincare dan juga pengetahuan dalam pasal skincare itu sendiri. So that's why in 2019 I come to a call, let's do cosmetic, because kalau kita nak tahu in Malaysia, tahu tak badan apa yang mengawal selia kosmetik sebenarnya?
KMM.
Under KKM, there is a one body namanya NPRA, National Pharmaceutical Arts and Regulatory Bureau. And these are bunch of pharmacy behind this organisation. So mereka inilah yang mengawal selia kosmetik di Malaysia, and it's a bunch of pharmacists, same like me. So that's why in 2019 I said, hey, I'm the right profession to make cosmetic right in 2019.
Tapi when you talk about cosmetic ataupun skincare kan, this runway is very very competitive.
Correct.
And the other thing here is kalau kita cakap tentang FMCG lah, on top of the pyramid chart of the FMCG, antara yang teratas ialah
skincare, cosmetic,
FMCG, cosmetics lah, because pada banyak orang ialah perception this is the segment yang paling banyak lumayannya lah in terms of the lucrative, in terms of the returns. So why you still decided to go into this runway, and what is your strategy?
It goes back in 2019 where kenapa I bina The Raw is satu je niat I time tu, which is I want to make cosmetic Malaysia right. So back in 2019 kan, you see it's a lot of competitive, you see a lot of local brand, tetapi there is one stigma yang orang tak suka pasal local brand, which is what? Keselamatan, mercury tak selamat,
Consistency dia lah.
Tak bagus, ada campuran haram, ada steroid, ada hydroquinone, tretinoin. Those are like a red flag punya bahan yang sepatutnya ada dalam, yang tidak sepatutnya ada dalam kosmetik. Tetapi itu menjadi like hampir-hampir sinonim dengan local brand. So definitely untuk masuk tahun 2019, untuk masuk segmen kosmetik ni again is so competitive and is have so all reason wrongly untuk masuk di segments because it's a red flag. Sebab macam kalau orang nak jual dekat pasaran pun ni produk mana, local brand, local Malaysia, orang tak nak beli sebab orang takut. So that's why come to the call, niat I pada tahun 2019 tu, I just want to make local cosmetic right time tu. Yeah.
Tapi okay, maybe kita boleh kaji lah, kenapa you pilih jenama you sebagai
Raw? Kan? It's very interesting. I mean, along the line ramai tanya, Datuk pun tanya kan, kenapa Raw? So I try to infuse my identity as a pharmacy dalam jenama The Raw tu sendiri. So tugas sebagai seorang pharmacy, at least di pharmacy ke ataupun di hospital, apa kita buat adalah kita melakukan dispensing. So dispensing ni selalu kita dispense apa? Kita dispense ubat. Dan ubat ni kalau dalam bahasa pharmaceutical we call it drugs ataupun we call it active ingredients. Okay. Tapi di dalam kosmetik sebenarnya kita buat benda yang sama. Kita dispense kosmetik, kita beri seseorang itu kosmetik. Dan apa yang belakang formulasi kosmetik itu adalah raw material. So that's why bila dalam farmasi ni, kita kalau nak prescribe ubat, kita tak panggil tablet contohnya Panadol, kita panggil tablet paracetamol. Tapi kalau I nak masukkan identiti ni dalam farmasi, that's why lah kalau tengok kan produk-produk The Raw ni, nama dia nak kita name after the raw material of the product. Contohnya The Raw Niacinamide 5% serum, The Raw Arbutin serum. So that's why lah keluarlah nama The Raw, because we want to uphold kekuatan raw material itu sendiri sebagai kekuatan formulasi dan jenama itu sendiri. That's the history about it.
Tapi untuk Raw lah, dari segi kita cakap differentiation lah, you punya positioning dengan you punya banyak competitors punya brand, what will be your core differentiation untuk Raw, untuk you punya user lah, to differentiate you?
So if I can name one thing, there are lots, but if I were to name one, is that the R&D house behind the Raw brand itself, which is led by me. So our R&D house, dia ada komposisinya, I mean it is occupied by many professions. For example, myself as a pharmacist, we are very in the know of skin anatomy, pharmacology, even pathology of a certain skin concern. Another thing also, kita dalam pasukan ni kita ada chemist, kita ada assistant pharmacists who are also very well versed about drug design ataupun cosmetic design, dan chemist itself is very good in like doing a good formulation. So and we also have like packaging designer yang kerja dia adalah untuk engineer the packaging tu untuk jadi satu packaging yang berkemampuan untuk berdaya saing di pasaran. So meaning to say is that the secret sauce that we have yang jenama-jenama lain tak ada is that the power of the R&D house yang kita ada behind the scene. So that's why lah dengan kapasiti R&D yang bagus, kita punya formulation sentiasa bersaing. Kita mampu untuk keluarkan produk yang always ahead of the trend. Before, mungkin kat trend kat negara lain dan negara Korea ni dia dah agak matang, tapi kat Malaysia tak ada lagi. Tapi dengan kekuatan R&D kita mampu untuk keluarkan dahulu supaya kita punya, selain daripada nak make local brands right untuk jenama The Raw ni, kita punya mission juga adalah, kalau nak tengok VC The Raw tu sendiri adalah we wanting to become a global player for skincare yang mempunyai infusion of pharmaceutical science. So kita nak menjadi global player. So before nak jadi global player, kita nak jadi local champion dulu. So that's why lah this R&D house yang kita ada sangat melengkapi untuk ke arah menjadi local champion dan insyaAllah akhirnya kepada global player.
Tapi Adibah, dari segi produk you lah, is it, kalau let's say lah today I nak jadi you punya competitor lah, I bawa produk you, I pergi OEM, okay, I just help me to copy the formulation. Can they do that?
They can do, and in fact if it happen, you see in e-commerce kan, kalau especially tengok Shopee ke TikTok Shop ke kan, you boleh nampak produk I kandungannya ada dekat juga produk-produk lain. Dia macam lebih kurang head to head comparison sama. Tapi kenapa The Raw menang? is because the value also that we offered behind selain daripada R&D yang menjamin 3 value ini, iaitu quality, effective and safety. We never jeopardize our value in term of giving safety to you. Kita dah jamin kita tak akan ada mercury atau bahan-bahan yang akan memudaratkan, terlarang, yang memudaratkan you punya kulit. Effectivity, that's why ada involvement profession seperti I dan juga chemist dan sebagainya, because we wanting to make sure that whatever we put in the formulation is the best. Mungkin ada banyak contoh, kita ambil contoh lah, kita ada banyak acid yang boleh bertindak sebagai exfoliant, but amongst of all those acid, what is the best for the skin? Ini datanglah kepakaran I dan juga kepakaran chemist.
So apa acid yang
dia kena tengok keadaan. Kalau contoh
pH skin you lah.
Yes, yang contohlah kalau kita ambil acne, so the best still gold standard is salicylic acid. There are a lot of acid, tapi tak boleh nak beat the gold standard of the salicylic acid tu. Dan few other things lah, tengok dia ikut jenis kulit.
Tapi sekarang pergi pharmacy banyak you tengok packaging dia orang organic lah, natural lah, clean lah, all that lah. So how do we choose the right product? Because sekarang ni banyak macam organic punya words is overused. Macam the other thing is natural, 100% natural. In what sense kita pun tak tahu. So how can us as a consumer buat perbandingan?
And I think this is come to the role of a certain brand kan, sebab you see organic, natural, I so agree is so overused in the market. For probably consumer already brainwashed about it. And now the raw, dia keluar satu produk yang dia tak ada pun perkataan organic, tak ada juga perkataan natural, tapi dia lebih kepada bahan raw material, orang kata bahan kimia. Yalah, raw material kan, nama niacinamide lah, tu semua kan kita identify sebagai bahan kimia. So how to penetrate this market yang orang dah overpopulated dengan this kind of organic and things? So this is come to the role of my e-commerce ataupun the branding and marketing team dekat belakang The Raw ni adalah untuk educate people. So that's why since 2019 where The Raw is established, we never a single bit to never educate our consumer. Maksudnya the education tu berlaku secara continuously, especially lah bila ada macam materials baru atau teknologi baru, contohnya HPR, hydroxyphenylcholine retinoid. It's so new in the market in Malaysia, tapi tak di Korea ataupun negara-negara maju yang lain. Tetapi how we want to make sure people recognize this HPR, kekuatan dia, kan? So this is where team R&D ni sekumpulan bersama our marketing team untuk sentiasa berlaku education tu. Kalau that's why you see lah in our TikTok kan, konten-konten banyak konten yang mengajar rather than konten-konten yang tidak lah. So this is a part of our role lah.
Entertainment lah. Kurang sikit because it's more educating.
But I mean now information is like is in the fingertips, right? And I believe that consumer nowadays are more educated juga berbanding dengan 5 years back then. So meaning to say that the cautious of the people dalam pemilihan produk tu pun dah semakin bijak. So that's why along the line when I built the Raw brand ni, dia tak susah seperti dulu untuk encourage orang faham dan kenali dan jatuh cinta kepada jenama The Raw dan produk-produk yang kami tawarkan.
Okay, because sekarang I want you to bring back to 2019 lah, when you started the brand. So 2019 ni kalau tak silap you masih kerja lagi
pharmacy,
kan, pharmacy. So you buat part time lah kira.
Betul.
Okay, so that time apa produk pertama yang you get it out to the market and why you choose that product?
You see, pengalaman I buat The Raw ni sebab kulit I jerawat. So definitely the first product yang I keluarkan under nama The Raw ni is The Raw Niacinamide 5% serum. It's a serum, is basically the cover all in all cause of acne. So serum ni is a beauty about it being a pharmacy punya student. Back in the university year, kita diberi kelonggaran untuk buat final year project dan I can choose cosmetic. So ketika final year project ni sebab one sem, so I custom ataupun I formulate my own serum yang sebenarnya asalnya untuk treat my own acne. So I pun baca lah all the journal. Correct. Sebab the frustration kan dulu kan, before The Raw ni ada event, produk skincare yang betul-betul berkesan untuk curb this acne punya masalah tak banyak. Kalau ada pun dia banyaklah jenama luar. Dan problem dengan jenama luar ni kalau masuk Malaysia harga dia bukan murah, dia mahal.
Betul.
And as a student, selalunya jerawat ni sangat sinonim untuk youngster dan pocket student pun tak berapa nak tebal. So definitely to sustain satu jenama produk untuk jerawat ni sangat-sangat susah. So that's why lah I datang macam aku nak buat FYP project ni. I nak buat something yang memang sangat efektif tapi at the same time low cost. Meaning to say I'm not jeopardizing the quality, effective and safety. So maka lahirlah satu formulation ketika I final year project year 4 of pharmacy tu. Then the same formulation actually I go into this first production dan now has become a commercial commercial scale up.
Product lah, betul tak?
One of the best seller product untuk acne. Yeah.
Okay.
So yep that is
So
very
okay, because that time I assume lah modal pun tak banyak.
correct.
So macam mana you buat branding?
Correct. So it's definitely semua orang punya issue, especially startup kan.
Yeah.
Especially now bila I startup tu, if I can share how much modal yang I allocate to build the raw is actually sikit je, dalam lebih kurang 30,000. Okay. This is the I pun bekerja 7 tahun pharmacy, so I ada beberapa saving. So saving ni jugalah yang I buat modal untuk buat stocks. At the same time itu jugalah modal untuk buat
Untuk
marketing.
marketing lagi. Sebab stok I rasa pun dah 30,000.
Yes, correct. Stock pun dah 30. So marketing yang I utilize is zero cost marketing. So apa yang I buat
Queue semua kan.
correct. So I memang masuk dekat Instagram, Facebook time tu TikTok tak ada lagi. So it's all zero cost.
Ada KOL tak? Tak ada.
KOL time tu pun tak ada. So so I need to
budget.
utilize myself kan. So yeah, definitely modal cost tu tak ada. I mean modal untuk buat branding tu tak ada, tetapi semua adalah kepada untuk pembuatan stok. Yeah.
Semua pembuatan stok.
Yep.
So basically you punya marketing is on social media.
Social media
IG,
zero cost.
Instagram.
Yeah, back then 2019 sampailah 2021 I think we still actively in Instagram before we started to change platform in 2022 into TikTok lah, that we start to be more focused in that TikTok segments.
At what juncture you decided to quit your pharmacist job, go full time as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. At the point of 2022, 2019 sampai 2022, 19, 21, 22, about 3 years kan? 2 years, 3 years. So actually bila I buat the raw ni sebenarnya I just nak test the market. You see whether ada market ke tak. Kalau ada market, okay lah. Kalau tak ada market, okay lah. I still have my job. It's just safe net lah.
Macam proof of concept lah.
Correct. So the 50-50. Okay. So bila I tengok market, first 3 months I buat the raw ni definitely tak ada. Tak ada sales. So I started to broke my first sales after 3 months. Then after 3 months I started to see customer yang sama repeat purchase. Then after the 3 months customer yang sama they try to refer to other friends and family dan sebagainya. And this started to grow bigger and bigger. Sampailah in 2022 I started to see the pattern. Over the years semakin meningkat sampaikan sehingga I punya replenishment of the stocks tu berlaku hampir setiap 2 bulan sekali. So maksudnya banyaklah order tu semakin banyak keluar. So come to the point in 2022, this is going somewhere whereby I nampak I punya busy dekat business ni dah lebih semakin tinggi daripada busy sebagai pharmacy. So meaning to say, if let's say lah I tak fokus 100%, probably I punya limitation on the business tu setakat tu je. Sebab I dah sibuk setengah hari dekat pharmacy, then how nak scale up. Yeah. So nak scale up, then that's lah I need to make a very big call. Datuk, background sebagai orang Melayu, because I'm Malay, so we have been brainwashed lah kan. Duduklah government, sebab jaminan retirement, especially I pharmacy gaji bagus.
Betul.
And then kenaikan pangkat untuk profession seperti pharmacy ni laju cepat. So jaminan dah I got almost 100% jaminan. Why I need to make a big call, risiko untuk buat something yang I tak pasti. Business is like one wrong move, yes, you boleh go big, but one wrong move you can go flop and go move flip probably. So this is something yang I have to make a big call in 2022. I remember is on August. So I have a deep talk. I cakap dengan diri I sendiri, are you sure about this? You see nak buat pharmacy ni 4 tahun tau. I mean you kena score UPSR, SPM you kena score, SPM kena score. Lepas tu you dah masuk degree you kena score. Lepas tu you kena buat houseman. And then 7 years is tak benda bukan mudah. If healthcare facility is yes. If I make a call, it's like everything ni is like wasted tau.
Your career planning for the past.
Correct. And my parents have invested on this career pathway.
Betul.
So I asked myself, apa benda I nak sebenarnya? So I thought to myself, hey, is your value is limited here in pharmacy or sebenarnya value you is like more? So I decide has to be more. And that's why lah dia menjadi a part of the identity of the Raw. My pharmacy punya value dia terikat kuat dalam the Raw, di belakang R&D kami, menyebabkan by hook by crook, you know, my value as a pharmacy has to grow big.
You kira macam in-house punya MPRA lah.
Correct. Boleh lah. Nanti kan MPRA dengar dia marah kat sini. Esok datang surat samai gurau.
But that's the thing, because you tahu deep down what are the life that you want to pursue lah.
Yeah.
Tetapi I'm sure there will be resistance from friends, your loved
Of
ones,
course.
family,
Of
semua.
course,
Then how do you deal with that? Because you come in bukannya banyak modal.
Yep.
You come in with 30k, right?
30k selai pinggang. If that burn, then probably I cannot return back. Tak boleh masuk balik government. Probably I need to find, you know, part-time job or as a locum yang ada pharmacy. So of course the resistance tu I dapat especially kuat lah daripada my parents. You see, they have invested a lot on me, and especially they see that, you know,
understandably.
Yeah. And as a, you know, Malay's family, we also believe that whoever kids anak dia yang dapat bekerja kat government healthcare facility is something proud for the family. And now kita nak keluar buat kosmetik yang hampir-hampir semua orang boleh buat. Probably I don't need the profession of pharmacy pun nak jual kosmetik kalau nak tengokkan kelayakannya. Kebanyakan tak ada sebab it's not required.
Produk yang best seller.
Exactly. It's not required. That's why lah when I take this call, I have a strongly belief that a local brand like the Raw, dia sangat mampu menjadi satu global brand kalau kita letak nilai yang betul. Dan that's why lah nilai tu terletak pada I, which is I'm a pharmacist and I know what's best, how to become a local champion. Dan sebenarnya nak tengokkan quality of produk Malaysia sebenarnya dah pun setara dengan international. Kalau nak tengokkan, kita ada GMP, kita ada halal, kita have all the ISO and quality check. There is nothing wrong untuk menyebabkan produk kita tidak layak untuk keluar ke negara. But why that's not happen? So that's why lah when I make this call, I don't want to go small. What I want is I want to go really really big and make Malaysia proud. So that's why lah when I make this call, it's not easy, tapi I believe my value shouldn't be limited in hospital or clinic, but I believe my value can serve probably globally because the value that we bring behind the Raw brand. That's how I see things. Yeah.
Okay, when we talk about this segment the reality is Malaysia brand tak banyak.
Correct.
And kita boleh nampak saja. I mean tak perlu tipu lah. Kita pergi pharmacy lah, kita pergi supermarket semua. You can see the choices that we have.
Yeah.
Why do you think these things happen? Apa sebab yang menyebabkan ni berlaku?
Yeah. I see a pattern kan, because maybe before I sentuh tu sikit lah kan, sebab I nak orang faham. Because you see perjalanan I ni kan pharmacy kan. So background I, my mom housewife, my father kerja kilang proton and already on retirement. So basically I tak ada basic knowledge of business. So in a way that how I can make things right. Tapi lah bila I take the call kan, I nak buat the Raw as a global brand. So I see one pattern yang lack dekat local brand punya kosmetik, whereby people miss to focus on doing proper branding. And this is something yang I think the Raw has done so right for the past since 2019, whereby we have invested a lot on making sure that our brand is at par as international levels. So I think this is missing in amongst the local brand. Yeah.
What I see throughout the years, memang ada once in a while you will have a local viral product. So after that dia tak ada the second product yang boleh continue that momentum.
Yes.
So once that happens, in a way dia punya brand macam
correct.
Dia punya momentum dah turun dah.
Yeah.
Then the other thing ialah how has being a Malaysian brand, you as a Malay entrepreneur, shape you, and also the adakah dia membantu atau dari segi ada rintangan yang kita tak tahu punya?
I think being a Malaysian brand, I tak nampak lah ada rintangan yang besar untuk kita betul-betul menjadi satu jenama global lah. It's not necessarily has to come from Korea, Swiss lah. We know that those are countries yang kalau hampir-hampir keluar produk kan, senang nak dipasarkan secara international kan. So I see as a local brand, kita ada kekuatan kita sendiri. And you see, Malaysia is one of the focal point for a halal hub. Especially in the food, now cosmetic, and Jakim punya halal pun is one of the most highest standard. You cannot get halal Jakim like simply you pay money. No, Jakim dia tak macam tu. You have like in a very ketat punya QC and SOP in order to get eventually. And alhamdulillah, the raw is a halal products and all is endorsed by Jakim. And not only that, we also endorsed by Republic of Halal Indonesia. So something yang kita juga ketengahkan. So inilah kekuatan yang I nampak. If we know how to market it well at the right marketplace, the right target market as well, dia boleh pergi ke pasaran global. Kalau kita tengokkan statistik pun kan, kalau kita tengok at least statistika .com, I always check what's going on in the global trend. Halal started to get gain its shares ataupun get market interest in globally, bukan secara di negara-negara Muslim, tetapi negara-negara yang bukan majoritinya Muslim pun, they are also looking at the halal. It's not because the halal is that, but the value behind it. Because kalau halal hampir-hampir pasti ianya adalah selamat, kualitinya bagus, dan juga
proses dia lah,
proses dia, the credibility lah menyebabkan it started to gain share dekat negara-negara yang bukan predominannya adalah Muslim. So this is something yang kalau kita pandai lah as an entrepreneur kan, kita nampak ini peluangnya, dan this is definitely an opportunity for the global market.
But then again, most of the product dekat OTC memang ada halal punya certification, even though from luar negara or what not lah. But the most important thing ialah somehow or rather, I don't know lah, maybe circling tier Malaysia lah, they might think the moon is actually rounder overseas. So they ada perception kalau produk dari Korea, produk dari US, it tends to be more in terms of quality, efficacy, perception lah. So how do you deal with that?
It's not easy to change the perception of our consumer locally. Tapi at least if I can share the trend lah, because I'm in the industry and I started to see consumer trends terhadap local brand. I can see that since 2022 and above, we started to see many homegrown brand yang bila dia keluarkan jenama tu is actually not that bad. Memang agak setara dengan international. And along the line, I started to see the acceptance of a local consumer untuk support juga local brand once the brand uphold the international values yang setara, so that the consumer started to have more choice, especially when it comes to the boycott issues and apa yang berlaku dekat negara luar. So the sentiment untuk support Malaysian product started getting higher and higher, especially for the past 2 years I can see. So I would say that the market used to have that kind of perception, tetapi if kita teliti betul-betul dan kita nampak peluang tu, so that's why lah you see the raw dapat grow dengan sangat tinggi Datuk for the past 3 years due to the support of the local itself.
Understand. So when we talk about when we talk about raw punya community, your user, your consumer, what would be the emotional attachment for this community that you want to build?
We have one values that we uphold among our community. We call it the raw societies. We have thousands of members under this society that we uphold one value, which is raw. what does mean raw? Raw means, in this context of society, is that we are proud of being ourselves, raw selves.
Unpretenders.
Yes. So we don't need to have like sort of that glass skin, flawless skin in order for us to feel confident. But what we matter the most, that's why it comes to the raw tagline, which is kulit sihat dengan the raw, whereby we uphold the kulit sihat values rather than, unrealistic beauty. So kulit sihat ni, if we can dissect a little bit on the science behind it, is more into like you ada kulit yang sihat in a way that your anatomy kulit ni dapat berfungsi secara baik. So you don't need to be like flawless lah, tak ada pori lah, tak ada parut, tak ada semua. Benda tu is almost ridiculous. Tetapi secara saintifiknya, as long your skin dapat bekerja sebagai berfungsi sebagai satu organ kulit yang bagus, then it should be fine, it's normal. So this is something, a value yang kita uphold in the society. So that's why among the society we banyak sharing, hey, I tak pakai makeup hari ni because I feel confident dengan produk The Raw, and isu seperti jerawat tak ada, jeragat dah semakin improve. So this is menyebabkan our society are very supportive and empowering each other. Yeah, something that I'm very proud of. Yeah.
But Raw brand, since your inception memang very active and very creative, pandai main dengan social media lah. Okay, now I think your focus lebih kepada TikTok, where you ada 24 hours punya kan.
Yep.
So can you share with our viewers apa strategi social media untuk Raw to make it scale to this level?
Yeah. You see why we are integrating into TikTok, because back in 2022 and now it's 2025, the growth of the user in the TikTok platform is the highest of all years or lifetimes. Yes, the migrations and hampir-hampir kan in the mere of 3 years, hampir like 1 Malaysia user dah ada dalam TikTok. So as a entrepreneur, business person who see the market, so definitely sangat merugikan lah kalau kita masuk TikTok, because we see that almost the whole Malaysia, the market is there. Kalau kita ada, maksudnya kita missing lah.
Betul.
Okay, so what the strategy that we do in the TikTok is that kita anggaplah TikTok ni sebagai mall, dan kita ada kedai dalam mall, dan dalam mall ni ada 34 juta user yang actively on and off, masuk keluar kan. Depends lah, kalau dia masuk, maksudnya dia active, dia online lah. Nah, kalau dia keluar, dia offline lah. Ada traffic lah. So kita as a nak menjual brand ataupun kita nak mendatangkan awareness kepada pelanggan-pelanggan kita 34 juta ni, kita kena sentiasa surface. Maksudnya kita kena sentiasa buka kedai. Jadi kalau kita tak live, maksudnya kita apa? Kita tutup kedai, because people tak nampak kita. So that's why you see dekat The Raw for the past 3 years, I'm proud to say that we have continuously live for now 22 hours, bukan 24 jam. Kita ada ambil rehat dalam lebih kurang 2 jam 4 jam macam tu, and for continuous for 3 years. And that's why lah menyebabkan The Raw awareness di dalam TikTok itu sendiri bagus, orang aware. Yeah. Antaranya lah. And many thing, if I can share another thing, is that because it's a social media platform whereby people comes wanting to get something in return ataupun values in return. So that's why you see TikTok, kita always share values, knowledge, education melalui our short video lah, atau konten-konten di dalam kita punya TikTok. So benda tu tak pernah stop for the past 3 years. Yeah.
So you satu minggu berapa konten you keluar? Dalam
satu hari we make it minimum 3, and kita pernah pergi agak agresif sehingga 15. Yeah.
Mostly education lah.
A mixture, ada education, ada yang entertainment, ada yang just ride on a trend, ada juga yang kita macam hard sell, masuklah ke dalam kita punya live TikTok kan. Also ada juga yang hard selling, kita nak shout out the promo of the month. Sekarang ni hari ni 55, kita nak shout out promo of today. Dia ada kepelbagaian. Ya, tapi most of thing yang kita apa adalah value untuk educate ataupun sharing the behind the science of behind the formulation of the raw.
How about sendiri punya website sekarang?
We do have website, theraw.com.my, www.raw.com.my. So in this website, basically kita juga active and actively giving us active sales every month. So this is one of the platform whereby we engage with our VIP customer. Okay, some of the VIP customer per se macam yang tidak involve sangat in TikTok, per se macam umur macam I like 35 and above, kita jarang ada kat TikTok because we are brought up more into like Facebook lah, and website lah. Kita dah biasa sebab we have been brought up like that. And some yang kita ada VIP yang di mana kita memang personally WhatsApp mereka for consultation. So most of the time kita akan lead mereka kepada website. So purchase mereka dari website. Dan kat website juga adalah where we give a special discounts because it's our own house, basically tak ada commission yang sangat tinggi, so they can get better price actually in website.
Tapi what do you think, because sekarang because just last week I have lunch with one of my friend, dia sekarang ada about 80 cawangan.
Wow.
So dia kata dia jual fashion punya products dan dia kata dia nak fokus kepada website dia. Then I said, why don't you focus on social media? So what would be your advice?
Ada pro and co lah yang nampak di sini. Definitely all businesses kena ada website. Website ni kira macam your house lah. So we don't know one day Facebook, TikTok, I don't know, mungkin ada, mungkin tak ada. But at least we have the website. Meaning to say, at least people wanting to find you, they will go to the Google search engine and says, who are you, right? The raw kan. So the first thing is not like go to the TikTok. They will see who are you, about you is in the website. So, but to have a full focus into website, something it's a bit tough to but
especially now lah.
Now, yes, where the focus now is more into the TikTok.
Sebab trafficnya bukan banyak sangat.
Correct. So it's a bit tough lah if they fully focus into the website. And now kita dah zaman AI dah tu. Now dah sepatutnya integration kepada apps. So website tu kalau nak 100% focus a bit challenge because the traffic itself. And kita kalau as a business Datuk, kalau you nak buka kedai, you nak pergi buka kedai tepi pantai tak ada orang ke, or you nak pergi pusat peranginan yang memang confirm ada traffic orang foreigner? Betul. So that's why lah, sama analogi ni, you nak pergi dekat website yang I tak tahu you nak pancing traffic tu macam mana, you kena buat ads yang sangat dahsyat untuk pancing masuk lead. Or you dah pergi in the pasaran yang sedia ada dah, mungkin orang buka pop up you dah ada dah situ kan, dengan buat satu konten yang bagus.
Kita pergi pancing kat tempat yang ada ikan.
Correct. Itu adalah analogi tu.
But you see, how do you approach pricing? Harga you. Because pricing for me is the most important strategy lah.
Correct. Because it defines your profit margins, right? So untuk the raw, if I can share, we are very particular on where we put our pricing. So if I can share, because we are now in the Guardian, almost 800 including Air Wellness and all. So our pricing, kalau nak comparekan this dengan brand-brand yang ada di dalam modern trade ni ataupun chain pharmacy ni, we are not the lowest. We are probably in the middle tier for the mass market punya segments. But to say that although our price is not that low, but we still able to secure a good portion of market dengan jenama The Raw ni. So, but you see, when we put the pricing strategy, you see, kalau lah andai kata we put price too low, that mean we are plan to loss. I mean, you plan to margin negative lah.
Tahu you punya quality turun lah.
Correct. So that's why when we are uphold that we're not going into the price war, especially now with new China brand coming into the flooding the market, Malaysia market. So they're doing a price war. They can throw as simple as as down as RM1 for a same product, probably nampak macam lebih kurang sama. Tapi we keep back our value, which is quality, effective and safe. We cannot offer this three value at a very high standard if we jeopardize our margin. So how to maintain the safetyness kalau kita tak jaga margin yang bagus. So since we are true believers lah on the value, and that what our at least loyal customer who are really avid fan of The Raw believe on us, we cannot jeopardize lah. We cannot jeopardize our price in a way that risk the price into the point that we're not able to make a healthy profit margin.
Okay, just now we also see the trend, especially these past few years, with tariff or even without tariff pun, the
tariff war,
with tariff war or even without tariff war, the incoming of new brands dari overseas, especially China lah. So there's a saying in business
Yeah.
the most scary part for us especially FMCG your profit product ialah produk umpan dia, which they don't mind to
Yeah.
sell cheap punya. So that's one scenario. Second scenario is dia punya harga jualan ialah you punya cost price.
Yes.
Because first thing they have the economy of scale.
Yep.
Second thing, because they just want to penetrate the market. Dia just nak ambil market share and we see a lot of big corporation they do exercise like this. Meaning to say they come in, they will be the lowest price, the lowest competitive price. Dia sapu semua market share. Lepas all the competitors sudah
dah cannot survive, close, they happy lah.
Then dia naikkan harga dia lah.
Correct.
Because for them, dalam FMCG, this is what we call a monster product lah. So how do you anticipate this thing from happening?
So definitely this is a big challenge, especially this year. This is something yang I dah takut like for the past 2 years actually, Datuk kan. Because in the business we see the pattern, and especially this year after the tarif punya peperangan kan, menyebabkan Malaysia is like a nice market for them to penetrate as an alternative. So it's not easy, it's not easy to the point is that if we lah SMEs kan, I still SMEs and not do anything about it, hampir-hampir boleh dikatakan banyaklah rakan-rakan SME kita by end of this year akan tutup because of this flooding wave ni. So at least what the RAW can do kan untuk survive in this war, tak mudah kan Datuk, because you also buat business, I pun buat business. Pastinya especially this year kan, inflasi semakin tinggi, cost meningkat, so the purchasing power of our consumer pun tak semakin banyak, dia semakin menurun. So nak membeli, of course dia lebih suka untuk beli benda yang murah. Okay, tapi I believe in this one thing lah. Okay, I always believe when I enter into this market, I plan to last long. We call it sustainability. So if we are plan to last long, meaning to say rather than we terjerat masuk dalam peperangan harga ni dengan menurunkan kita punya profit margin, so definitely I plan to die fast, betul tak? Ataupun untuk short live je. So that's why kaitkan balik dengan harga yang saya kongsi sebentar tadi, whereby we don't plan to so much on adjusting, lowering our margin, but rather we are keep increasing. But what we will assure is that apakah value yang kita tidak akan turun langsung berbanding dengan competitor, which is it goes back to my three things: quality, effective and safe. Competitor from China can go sell at a very cost price, but dia boleh jamin tak this tiga value ni? Mungkin tidak. So that's why kita nampak noise dekat pasaran, especially di pasaran seberang di Indonesia. Banyak yang buat kajian di mana macam banyak jenama-jenama daripada China, bila kita run dekat chromatographic untuk check betul ke niacinamide ni 5% seperti yang dia claim, kebanyakannya tidak sahih. Maksudnya tak sama seperti apa yang diklaim oleh jenama itu.
The variables
Yes. So maksudnya jenama tu dia tidak integrity, dia tak telus. And kalaulah once a brand caught in this act, susah nak naikkan balik brand tu, sesuatu jenama tu. So that's why in the raw is that yes, we might lose some market share this year, especially when the flooding of tapi we believe that kalau I tengokkan kita punya Samsung ni is like total acquired market in Malaysia in the beauty segment is huge. It's about 5 billion. So we believe within this 5 billion ada share yang ruang untuk the raw. Correct.
So okay, when we talk about survival, it has to be all about scaling lah. We
Correct.
have to play offensive in the games, cannot be always defensive kan. So in for your strategy untuk scaling ni,
Yeah.
what will that be?
Okay.
More SKU ke,
Yeah.
penetrate new market
Yeah.
ke?
It can be both. So what we are doing is both lah. Okay, so definitely because we wanting to become a local champion, so we cannot settle with only one product or two. We need also, because FMCG is fast moving, the trend is keep changing. So we also must be ahead of the trend. So that's why scaling up the SKU is also one of our strategy. So that's why our R&D house yang kita ada behind the Raw brand menyebabkan we always keep up on track. Apa yang latest. So that's why our manufacturer juga adalah local, adalah Korean manufacturer yang kalau kita tahu rata-rata kalau dalam dunia kosmetik ni negara Korea lah yang menyebabkan global setting trend, global trend tu. So kita dah work closely with that. So secondly adalah kalau nak tengok kan, The Rod dah pun berada di dalam chain pharmacy of Guardian. Kalau kita boleh kongsikan tahun lepas Guardian 1 tahun di dalam Guardian kita dah pun memenangi award as the best skincare brand untuk kategori eksklusif. Kalau saya boleh kata nama ringkasnya, award ni adalah dalam banyak-banyak brand skincare dalam Guardian tu untuk kategori exclusivity. The Rod paling tinggi revenue-nya lah. So that's why we won the brand. So dalam matter of 1 year we managed to get that. So meaning to say is that of course the scale up strategy adalah to scale out the point of sales. So this is something yang I work close with Guardian. Not only we are scaling up the point of sale in Malaysia, but also in our neighbouring country. Dah pun berlaku di Brunei. InsyaAllah the Raw will be in Brunei, Guardian by end of the year. We are still in the process, and soon to be in Singapore and Indonesia. This is how we scale up.
How about retail or experimental punya center ke apa akan buka tak?
Yes, in the process of this year too. Yeah.
This year too.
Yeah. Actually kita dah pun buka raya hari tu. Kita ada buka di ICT, whereby we popped up a store for a duration of 1 month, whereby people can come in, macam buka kedai lah. And sambutan sangat bagus. Something yang kita juga eyeing on a specific location untuk kita buat pop up store ni lah.
Okay.
Yep.
Pada you lah, what's the decision you make early on that you are proud of today?
I think if I pick one thing is my leaderships. You see, dulu I pakai topi ni maksudnya bekerja untuk kementerian kan, Kesihatan Malaysia. So I adalah seorang pekerja. Then I shift into being entrepreneur. So dua role yang berbeza. So I tak boleh bawa leadership skill yang sama yang seperti seorang pekerja kepada business, leading a business. Is two different skill. So I think benda yang I buat betul bila I start to decide nak fully focus the Raw ni 2022 is that I upgrade myself to become a good business leader. You see, dulu I buat ni seorang tau, Datuk, macam Rashidah. I lah yang packing, I lah yang buat produk, I lah marketing, customer service, all is me. Model pun I juga. Kan? So then come to the point that we started to growing, you have more staff, kan? Handle satu staff, and sekarang we have like pagi tadi dah jadi 45 because we have ongoing recruitment. Now in the mere of 3 years, we are scale up to 45. To lead 1% and 45% is different. Yeah. Whereby if my leadership, my personality on like driving this business, kalau tak kuat, I tak boleh lead 45% ni, 45 people ni. Because you see, leader ni bukan about macam kita boss, kita ada staff, kau buat ni kau kena buat. Tak. And what I realised one thing is that being a leader, you need to become an inspirational for the rest of your team yang you ada. So
how do you become inspiration to them?
First, I kena upgradekan diri. Kalau you tahu, I ada MBA, and myself juga almost
MBA dalam?
MBA business, Master Business and Administration. I took it like in University of Wales, United Kingdom, as a first move untuk I faham dunia business ni. Then I realised that MBA alone is not enough because benda tu semua teori. So bila you in actual business, you are handling personality staff yang berbeza-beza. Ada yang emotionally driven, ada yang logic thinking,
ada motivasi, ada tak motivasi.
Exactly. But how you want to uplift everyone with different background, different culture, different races, different upbringing belief towards one direction untuk menjadikan The Raw into the global brand. Sebab lain-lain ni motif berbeza-beza. So this is where I learned that I dulu yang kena, how to say you know, bring them ataupun motivate them why we are doing this. So kadang kan bila I fikir balik, you know, The Raw kan, The Raw is satu jenama, tapi sebenarnya apa yang kita pegang adalah nilai tau, value. Apa value to The Raw adalah untuk jadi kulit sihat. How true yourself, or how true the brand, or how true myself as a leader to make sure everyone serve the same purpose is to give kulit sihat in order to become a global player. Kita tak akan boleh jadi global player kalau, you know, nilai untuk beri orang kulit sihat ni tak semaksimal habis.
What would be the 3 words to describe your leadership style?
Brave, number 1. I always, you know, make a as a growing company, almost every day you have to make a risky decision, you know, to balance your cash flow, growing part, maintaining the present. So benda tu sangat susah lah. So number 1, kena pandai buat call yang, you know, berani lah. Bold, yeah. Yang mungkin orang lain kena fikir sampai 10 hari, I probably can do it like, you know, in a matter of seconds. Number 2 is that resilience. I never give up. You know, dalam tempoh perjalanan The Raw ni terlalu banyak sangat challenge, Datuk. You know, antara challenge yang paling sedih lah kalau I can share kan, lowest point kan, you know, I ada team yang kecil dulu kan, 1 orang dan jadi 5 orang, 10 orang. Some of them is like no longer believe on the vision yang kita pergi. So maksudnya some people dulu bersama dengan I, then at one point of time the, you know, no longer with us. So, you know, as a human it's a heartbreaking. Tapi kita kena jelas dengan vision kita. We want to serve people. So this is one of the thing lah. And then kemasukan orang baru kan, as now you see, The Raw dah pun berada di fasa yang di mana we started to have a C-suites whereby we have a CMO yang kita ambil daripada Petronas. I mean, we buy out them untuk join in The Raw. So to handle high talent, kita ni SME tu kan, I pun 3 tahun kan. To handle the high talent is a different challenge. I myself, I pun 3 tahun tak adalah nak berapa nak CEO sangat, apa je pun kan. Betul. Tapi kita nak handle orang yang dah lama bekerja di corporate yang sangat besar, that's different challenge. So macam mana you nak, you know,
because they have all the resources they can get.
Exactly. And how you want to align with these high talent people to believe on your vision yang asalnya kecil, then now you want to go global. Ya tak ya je kau ni kan boleh bawa global, but how you want to sell that idea, it goes back to the leaderships and how I really serious on like driving this mission. That's number 2 lah. Maksudnya tadi first berani, kedua resilience. I never give up. Whatever challenge I face along the line, probably I cry, I sad, I lost. Kita pernah berada dalam fasa loss that we like lost deficit about 2 million cash because we made some, you know, bad decision whereby tak mudah nak recover. But kalau tak kuat, kalau tak bounce back, tak agile, probably I dah move list lah kot.
When was that?
It was last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
When we...
Then how do you solve it? How do you
it goes back that sometimes bila dalam fasa down macam ni kan, you lost, then you want to generate more cash, you have to see what the resources in your hand and maximize this. That's what we do. You know, we have TikTok, we have Shopee, then what to maximize? Something that we do to recover lah. Yeah.
Kira issue ialah inventory punya issue lah.
It's more like wrong price strategy. Yeah, menyebabkan kita deficit about 2 million. Yeah, but we recovered. Yeah. And the third one is that a leader must be visionary. Yeah. If let's say lah Datuk, my vision adalah I just want to settle jago kampung. You won't see me in Guardian. You won't see me like talk like in front of you today, like talking so much about being global, not extend to Southeast Asia. So I have to be really visionary. Sometimes I've need to renew my visions. Like sometimes vision tu kita dah capai, tak boleh selesa. We need to find what else we want to hit. And yeah, need to be very very visionary. Barulah you ada momentum, reason to bring this brand to a bigger purpose.
Talking about what to achieve next,
Yeah.
so you what is the KPI that you set kepada diri you
Yeah.
sendiri?
Okay, KPI I set to myself. Apa Datuk?
Untuk this year or the next 12 months?
At least kalau personal kan, because soalannya adalah lebih kepada personal.
Yes, personal.
I would see that antara KPI, because I have a belief lah, the more I give, the more I get. So when I grew the raw, I ada letak satu niat di belakang pembinaan apa yang I buat ni, is that does the raw actually giving values back to the society? So goes back to my personal, you see, as a business, as the business grow, my wealth also grow along the line. But how well me are giving back to the people who are need me most. Contohnya, macam this year, I managed to sponsor 20 of my staff pergi umrah. And then, you see, belah family I, ada yang susah. And I managed like 40 of them pergi umrah juga after bulan 6 ni, after haji. So I ukur kepada situlah. It's like I could be rich, but how well I use my wealth
Enrich others people's
enrich.
life.
Correct. So itulah I suka. If I rich but I tak buat all these donation things,
Pahala besar lah.
yeah. So kiranya I tidak menguphold nilai I pertama untuk memberi value kepada orang. Value ni besar. Dia boleh jadi melalui produk, dia boleh menjadi melalui I, boleh jadi juga melalui staff I yang memberi value. So antara value yang I nak bagi is that I want to give back. Yeah. So my purpose itulah besar.
Let's say you can go back times what would you do differently towards this brand? Kalau ada peluang.
Kalau ada lah, you see, 2019 kan I bina the raw, then I buat ni sebagai part time sampai 22 baru I fully focus. If I know that focus is the key point of 2022 sebab I dah fully focus on building the brand, I probably akan fokus 100% pada tahun 2019. Probably you see the raw is different today. So itulah, is that if you are really serious on what you do, I don't believe half cook.
So what you focus on, magnify lah.
Correct. Yeah, so if I were to rewind back my time, probably I dah resign on 2019. I fully focus and make things right, and probably you see today mungkin the raw dah level berbeza. Yeah.
Betul. But how do you personally define success? Tadi you ada cakap sedikit lah that you would like to share rezeki you with others. Besides that, what is success to you?
Success to me is that when I can break my own achievement. I compete with no one except myself. You see, I was born and raised in a family of M40 lah. Dia tak terlalu miskin, tak terlalu kaya. So just nice as a blue collar punya family. Makan gaji hujung bulan tak ada duit, dan gaji masuk makan sedap dan kena catu perut dan that kind of thing. So if I can break this status of I have in a family, and I can help my other community who are not privileged to get this exposure, inspire them and do the same like I do, if I do really well in what I do. And I think that's success, because I believe I cannot success alone. I must have a people or circle yang we success together. You see, if I can share kan, tak tahulah ni sentimen perkauman ke kan, Datuk, you Chinese, I pun Malay, but my mom is Chinese, and so I mixture. Tapi I brought up in a very culture yang Malay lah kan. Kita believe macam orang Cina ni dia suka buat business lah, that's why dia senang kaya. Dan kita Melayu kan, kita percaya business ni bukan one of the channel untuk kita bersukses. So menyebabkan you see now we see many rich people in Malaysia are predominant by Chinese, and menyebabkan susah untuk bangsa I sendiri untuk goes to this level, because kita tak ada belief system yang sama. And kalau ada pun tak ramai yang dah break that to that level. And someone must break it. And adalah Tan Sri Said Mohtar is one of the richest, but benda tu tak sampai dekat community kami. So let me be one of it. And inspired the rest who have the same ambitious as me.
Tapi for me lah,
Yeah.
Community dalam usahawan is very important, because these
Correct.
are the community that boleh nurture kita to the
Correct.
next level.
Correct.
And siapa yang kita bergaul dengan also
Correct.
very very important.
Correct.
Especially my age, kita punya age kita no longer macam Gen Alpha,
Gen Z,
Gen
Alpha. You Gen
semua
apa, Datuk?
I pun tak tahu je.
I millennial.
I'm 40
Oh,
lah.
yeah, okay, alright, okay. I
I'm
35. So millennial lah. You millennial lah then?
Millennial
Late
lah.
millennial, boomer lah, baby boomer.
So sekarang ialah, because our time pun limited juga. So
Yeah.
kita punya side ialah we have to be very specific dengan siapa kita bergaul.
Correct.
Second thing ialah, okay, a lot of people have this misconception that buat business senang. Chinese doing very well because mostly buat business. Tapi I can tell you, you also know that 90% of the businesses will fail within the first 5 years.
Correct.
So us as an entrepreneur, we know
Yeah.
every month ada crisis.
Correct.
Every 3 months ada big crisis.
Correct.
Itu benda yang orang tak tahu.
Itu
Kita
yang predicted,
nangis.
yang tak predicted.
Yang orang tahu ialah, okay, social media, you drive fancy car, go to
Yeah.
fine dining,
Yeah.
holiday, all these
Ya,
things.
itu yang orang nampak.
Ya, itu orang nampak. Tapi deep down, the challenges, the sleepless night yang kita go through, nobody knows.
Anxiety,
Memang ada punya. So for us ialah, if you want to step out, then of course in life everything you do memang ada risk dengan reward.
Correct.
dia lah.
Correct. The higher the risk, the more the reward.
The higher the
Yeah.
risk, the more the reward. So for us, if we strive for something that no
Yep.
one has done it,
Yep.
then it's worth the while lah. But for
Yep.
example, for me, in essence, branding is all about kalau semua orang jalan kiri, then you kena jalan kanan.
Kanan.
Kalau
Kanan
tak-
ni risiko.
Yeah. Kalau tak, you will be
Red ocean lah is a market yang sangat saturated.
You
Yeah.
will always be a follower.
Yeah.
So pada I ialah raw. What do you see raw 5 years from
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. So what I see 5 years from now, my 5 years from now actually started 2022 lah. So this is our third year on our towards 5 years planning. So that my vision is that I want to become a local champion kan, before we want to become a global champion. So where I can see the raw in 2027 is that we are become a public listing of company. So benda ni sangat jarang lah berlaku untuk Bumiputra company. We see that the ratio company yang able to listed, nak katakan Bumiputra tu sangat tak banyak dah tu. So sad. Dia bukan tak boleh, mungkin tak berlaku awareness tu, or maybe tak ada a good example yang who able to go to that level. Tapi untuk the raw, again, you see my purpose is beyond dollar and cents. Is that I want to prove to the society that hey, kita ni manusia sama. It's just a matter you know or you don't know. You bekerja lebih atau you tak bekerja lebih. You berani atau you tak berani. That's why I want to become one of the Bumiputra company yang berani untuk ke pasaran IPO. And Alhamdulillah, Dato', I can say that we are really on track on like grooming the company, especially on the compliance side, on the financial track record. We are so fit for this market. So 2027, just doakan I, you will see the raw will be a public listing. Yeah.
Because you have to be someone that break the ceiling.
Correct.
Betul
Correct.
tak? Then okay, talking about brand that matters, kita punya misi untuk podcast Brand That Matters, because we want to find inspiration stories for Malaysian brand. So for you, what advice would you give to someone trying to build a brand that matters today?
One thing, if I can, is that yes, brand is one thing. What is the value that you put behind the brand that makes the market wanting to buy you? The value. So you see, throughout my podcast, I will always sentuh value. Value. Because at the end of the day, why people choose your brand is based on what you're offering. Kalau value you tak bagus, ataupun value you tidak menepati pasaran semasa, ataupun you ada value tu dan you tak upholdkan value you, lupa you ada value, dan menyebabkan you akan sangat susah nak strive in the saturated market like I am, which is FMCG. So I believe that behind every brand dia ada value yang dia letakkan sejajar. Yeah, that's my.
Because talking about value, value ni dia ada transition dia. Hari ni dia value to the consumer. Tomorrow might not be value to them. So how do you constantly keep yourself abreast with what kind of value you want to offer?
I think in this perspective, value can remain the same. Kalau I ambil contoh lah untuk The Raw kan,
core value dia lah.
Core value dia can be the same. Contoh lah kalau I ambil untuk The Raw, quality, effective. You pun dah hafal lah kan, QES, quality, effective and safe. I still believe for many years people were wanting a quality product, effective and safe. Tetapi the deliverable, it can be different. Contoh, now dunia AI, how we can integrate AI to delivering this quality, effective and safe? Mungkin ada cara. So I believe that you can maintain your value, but you can upgrade. How you going offer this value to your people? I mean to your consumer. Dengan cara apa? Itulah yang patut diubah, not the value.
Understand. Okay, last question before we wrap up. What's the one raw truth about entrepreneurship that people don't talk about?
Brave. You know, many of the time kan, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you tahu you kena buat keputusan sesuatu dan you tahu keputusan tu risiko, tapi you tahu juga kalau buat keputusan ni dia akan sampai certain level of success or breakthrough. And I boleh tahu, I boleh jamin, because I have a circle of SMEs friends, keberanian untuk membuat sesuatu yang different tak semua orang akan berani buat. You see I pernah dalam satu fasa di mana The Raw hampir-hampir gulung tikar, whereby time tu adalah zaman pasca pandemik, whereby masa pandemik e-commerce sangat bagus.
Betul.
Because people locked at home and you are in the device kan.
Betul.
Tapi bila pasca pandemik, market dah berubah. Kalau you
semua
fokus
keluar.
So kalau lah The Raw ambil keputusan tak buat perubahan drastik whereby we are transit into TikTok actually sebenarnya, time tu TikTok ni baru, tapi kita boleh tahulah, kita ada projection yang TikTok ni akan matang dalam tempoh 3 tahun. It's a insiders lah. I mean you see, selain daripada I attending class every week and I have a very good mentor behind me, I tak malu untuk mengatakan benda tu. I also
share with all of our
my mentor is Professor Datuk Wira Dr. Azizan Osman. He have a close coach for me since the beginning, day one lah. I built not 2019 when I started to take a risk to fully focus on The Raw, which is on 2022. Dia jugalah yang encourage I untuk resign and focus The Raw ni. So he been guiding me well to this point lah. So back to the point tu, whereby kita dapat insight yang TikTok is going to be the next things. So nak buat perubahan tak mudah, sebab you remember kita bukan buat seorang, kita buat berteam. How to encourage your team untuk pergi transit ke TikTok.
How to sell the idea.
How to sell, transition. So benda tu adalah cabaran lah. But you have to make a call. So kalau you tak berani, then definitely you selesa untuk buat apa you sekarang. And now sekarang kita dah fasa transition of AI. You see sekarang kita dah fasa transition of corporate transition. Sekarang you see kita ada CMO dalam fasa 3 tahun. Kena berani lah Datuk. Kalau you tak berani, probably you
do things that scares you lah. Betul tak? So with that, thank you very much, and we hope all the best for you, Adibah. Thank you for being on the show. All the best.
Thank you to Datuk for inviting me and give me a platform to share my story lah.
Make Malaysian brand proud.
Yay.
Okay. Thank